It doesn't begin with a diagnosis. It doesn't begin with a crisis. It begins with the small things. You grip the banister a little tighter when climbing stairs. You sigh before lifting the grocery bag that used to be nothing. You pause during a walk not because you're tired, but because your legs feel strangely unsure. At first, you tell yourself it's just age, but then one day you wake up and realize the strength that once carried you effortlessly through life is fading. And what's worse is not knowing what to do about it. Not because you don't care, but because no one ever taught you how to rebuild from the inside out. But what if the answer isn't complicated at all? What if it only takes one spoonful a day of something real natural and time-tested to begin restoring what you thought was lost? For over 3 decades, I've worked with men and women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and time after time, I've seen one simple truth. Your body can still recover. Yes, even now. Even if it's been years. Even if you feel like your best days are behind you. You don't need hormone therapy. You don't need another prescription. What you do need is a formula that gently supports your body in the way it was always meant to be supported. And that's what I want to give you today. Not a supplement made in a lab, but a blend made from 7 natural ingredients refined through clinical experience, modern science, and ancient wisdom. Together they can help rebuild muscle strength, restore natural testosterone and libido, calm chronic inflammation, sharpen memory and focus, balance energy levels throughout the day. And it all begins with just 1 spoonful each morning. Because once you understand what each of these natural ingredients can do for you, you'll realize you were never too old. You were simply undernourished. Let's start with the first root known for centuries as the mountain-grown key to enduring strength. High in the Andes Mountains of Peru, where the air is thin and the soil is ancient, there grows a humble root, one that local families have turned to for generations when the body starts to slow down, when vitality slips quietly away, and when a man or woman feels like they're no longer themselves. That root is called maca, and it isn't a trend. It isn't hype. It's not some magical powder that promises overnight youth. It's something far more powerful because it works with your body, not against it. Imagine this. Your body is like a house that once glowed with warm, steady light. Over the years, those lights have dimmed, not burned out completely, just lost their brightness. Maca doesn't flip a switch. It works like a steady current quietly feeding the system, gently recharging your internal energy centers. Unlike caffeine, which jolts you with a spike and crash, maca gives you the rhythm of balance, like taking a deep breath after a long, restful night. And here's what's truly remarkable. For men over 50, maca helps reignite your natural testosterone production the way your body used to do it on its own. No injections, no artificial hormones, just a nudge back to balance. For women after menopause, it gently supports estrogen regulation, easing mood swings, lifting that heavy emotional fog and helping you feel more connected to your body again. What does that feel like? For many, it starts as a sense of aliveness, not a burst, not a surge, but something deeper, a quiet hum, a warmth returning to places that had gone cold, a feeling that you're not just getting through the day, you're participating in life again. This is what I see time and time again when people begin their journey with maca. Energy improves without overstimulation. Libido returns in a way that feels natural, not forced. Mood lifts without medication. And best of all, it reminds you that your body still wants to function. It just needs the right fuel. And once your energy has been gently awakened, it's time to address the silent threat that holds so many people back after 50 inflammation. Not the loud kind, the quiet, constant kind that eats away at your joints, your nerves, and your focus. Let's talk about the second ingredient, one you probably already have in your kitchen, but have never truly seen for what it is. You may know ginger as the spicy root your grandmother added to soup, or maybe as something you brew in tea when your stomach's upset. But what most people don't realize, especially after 50, is that ginger is one of nature's most powerful healers. Not because it works fast, but because it works deep. Let me explain. Inside your body right now, there may be small embers of inflammation, not painful enough to scream, but persistent enough to wear you down. A dull ache in your knees, stiffness in your back when you stand, that strange sense of tightness in your hands after a short walk. These aren't just signs of aging. They're your body whispering, "Help me." And ginger listens. Ginger contains powerful compounds called gingerols, tiny natural warriors that travel through your bloodstream, finding the hidden places where inflammation smolders. Your joints, your muscles, even your blood vessels and nerves. Now, picture this. Your body is like an old wooden house, and those quiet aches, they're little sparks beneath the floorboards. Ginger is the steady, cool stream that quenches those sparks before they become a fire. And the impact isn't just physical. Because when inflammation lingers in the brain, yes, even there, it can cloud your mood, dull your memory, and steal your motivation. But when ginger begins to do its work, the fog lifts. You feel more awake, more clear, more capable. Let me tell you something personal. Years ago, I began adding ginger to my morning routine. Back then, the stairs in my home had become a quiet battle. I'd climb halfway and stop one hand on the wall, the other on my aching knee. It wasn't pain that stopped me. It was doubt, a whisper that my body couldn't handle it anymore. But within 2 weeks of taking this blend daily, the pause disappeared. The doubt was gone, and I found myself walking not cautiously, but confidently. Because that's what happens when inflammation is soothed. Movement returns, sleep improves. The little things no longer feel like big challenges. And once ginger begins clearing the path, we bring in a second powerhouse to go even deeper, to shut down inflammation at the cellular level before it takes root again. Because calming the fire is just the first step. Next, we need to protect your cells, your very foundation, so they don't reignite. Let's talk about one of the most studied natural remedies in the world, known for its golden color and even greater healing power. If ginger is the stream that puts out the fire, then turmeric is the fireproofing. For centuries, turmeric has been treasured in India and Asia, not just as a bright yellow spice, but as a powerful healing root. And today, modern science has finally caught up to what ancient wisdom always knew. Curcumin, the active compound inside turmeric, is one of the most effective natural anti-inflammatories ever discovered. But here's the truth most people miss. Not all turmeric is the same. You've probably seen golden-colored powders at the store. But if they're mixed with starches, artificial dyes, or fillers, you're getting the color, not the cure. Real pure turmeric delivers real curcumin, and real curcumin is like a circuit breaker for your body's inflammatory system. Imagine your body as a house again. This time it's the wiring. When inflammation begins at the cellular level, it's like faulty electricity, sparks flying through your gut, joints, brain, and blood vessels. If left unchecked, those sparks become chronic disease. But with curcumin in place, it's like flipping the breaker. You stop the surge before it burns anything down. What makes curcumin so remarkable is this. It doesn't force the body to heal. It reminds it how to heal itself. No pressure, no chemical side effects, just a gentle return to balance. And people often describe the results not just as less pain, but as a whole body lightness. Less joint stiffness, less brain fog, deeper sleep, a clearer mood. It's like going from walking through mud to gliding on dry ground. Here's what one of my patients told me just 3 weeks after adding this to their routine. I used to wake up feeling like my bones were made of concrete. Now I wake up and just move. No second thoughts. No hesitation. And that's the gift turmeric offers, not a miracle, but a steady rebuilding. Not overnight, but real. But as your body begins to cool the flames and restore clarity, there's another system we must tend to, one that so many overlook but affects your energy, your memory, your weight, and your willpower. Your blood sugar system. Because if your energy keeps crashing midday, if your mind feels tired even after a full night's sleep, it might not be age, it might be imbalance. And this is where our next ingredient steps in. Quiet, fragrant, and often mistaken for a dessert spice. But inside it holds the key to stabilizing your energy, protecting your heart, and helping your body use fuel the right way every single day. You might think of cinnamon as a spice for pie, and cocoa as something you sipped as a child. But hidden inside these kitchen staples are two of nature's most powerful tools for restoring energy balance and brain function, especially after 50. Let's start with cinnamon. This warm, earthy powder has been used for centuries in traditional medicine, but only recently have scientists confirmed its true gift, the ability to help your body manage blood sugar naturally. Here's how it works. Every cell in your body has a door that allows energy called glucose to enter. When you're younger, those doors open easily. Energy flows in. You feel steady, alert, alive. But with age stress or years of imbalance, those doors start to stick. Glucose gets trapped in your bloodstream, and suddenly you feel tired. Your mind fogs. You crave sugar, and your energy crashes halfway through the day. Cinnamon acts like a natural lubricant, helping those cellular doors open again, letting energy enter the places it belongs. And the result? Fewer sugar cravings. More consistent energy, sharper thinking, a metabolism that no longer works against you. It's subtle, yes, but powerful. One of my clients described it best. I didn't feel a jolt. I felt something even better. I felt even, for the first time in years. But energy is just the beginning. Now let's talk about your brain and a bitter powder that just might sweeten your entire day. Pure cocoa, not the kind mixed with sugar and milk, but real unsweetened cocoa powder, is one of nature's richest sources of flavonols. These Michelle's compounds do three amazing things. They open up tiny blood vessels in your brain, improving circulation. They protect your neurons from aging and oxidative stress. They boost the production of serotonin, your natural feel-good chemical. You know those days when you feel emotionally flat, mentally foggy, or just off. That's often poor blood flow to the brain or low serotonin. Cocoa helps reverse that. It's like rain after a long drought. Suddenly things feel awake again. Your thoughts become clearer, your mood lifts, and you feel just a little more yourself. And it doesn't stop there. Cocoa also contains theobromine, a gentle cousin of caffeine that supports mental clarity without the jitters, crashes, or overstimulation. Perfect for those of us who can no longer tolerate coffee but still want to feel sharp. I always say, if cinnamon is the key to steady energy, cocoa is the spark that brings joy back into your thinking. And once your metabolism and your brain are working in harmony, it's time to recharge the very core of your physical strength, your muscles, your bones, and your nervous system. Because if you want to move freely again without fear of falling or fatigue, then what you need next isn't a stimulant, but a cellular battery charger. And that's exactly what our next ingredient does. It's often misunderstood, even overlooked, but for older adults, it's one of the most researched and reliable ways to rebuild strength and energy from the inside out. If your muscles have started to feel weaker, if simple movements leave you winded, if your body no longer responds the way it used to, it's not just getting older. It's likely a depletion of something your body once made naturally, creatine. You might have heard of creatine as something gym goers take to build muscle. But here's what most people don't know. Creatine is actually a compound found naturally inside your muscles and brain, and it's essential for converting stored energy into usable power. Imagine every time you stand up, lift a bag, or even brush your teeth. Your muscles and nerves rely on tiny bursts of energy called ATP. Without enough creatine, your body can't regenerate those bursts quickly enough. That's when movement starts to feel heavy. You tire easily. You lose strength not just in the gym, but in everyday life. Supplementing with a small amount of creatine each day, just 1 teaspoon has been shown in studies to increase muscle strength by up to 15% in adults over 60. But it doesn't stop at muscle. Creatine also supports brain energy, especially during times of stress, sleep deprivation, or illness. It helps keep your mind alert and focused. It protects your bones, and it even boosts your heart's ability to store energy so you can do more with less strain. Think of creatine as a battery charger. It doesn't change the device, it simply recharges what's already there so your muscles, bones, and brain can function the way they were meant to. And now, with your foundation restored, there's one final step. We bring in the organizer, the calmer, the gentle conductor that brings everything into harmony. Its name is ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is not a nutrient. It's a powerful adaptogen, a medicinal herb that helps your body adapt to stress and regain internal balance. And here's why it matters so much after 50. Chronic stress doesn't always come in waves. It creeps in slowly daily through restless sleep, anxious mornings, unexplained fatigue, or that quiet feeling that something inside is off. That's cortisol, the stress hormone gradually staying too high for too long. And when cortisol stays elevated, it throws off your entire hormonal system. Testosterone drops, estrogen imbalances, DHEA weakens, immunity falters, sleep becomes shallow. Ashwagandha steps in like a gentle coordinator, helping to lower cortisol, calm the nervous system, stabilize mood, and restore hormonal balance naturally. In men, it has been shown to improve testosterone and sperm quality. In women, it helps reduce anxiety, support mood, and restore sexual well-being. But more than anything, ashwagandha works best when combined with everything we've already talked about. Because when you blend maca, ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, cocoa, creatine, and ashwagandha, they don't fight each other. They support each other. Each one reinforces the other's effect until your body begins working again as a unified whole. Strong, balanced, clear, and now that you understand the why behind each of these 7 powerful ingredients, it's time to learn the how. Because knowing what to take is only half the journey. The real results come when you take it the right way every single morning with intention. You've now walked through each of the 7 ingredients, each one chosen for a reason, each one addressing a different system in your body, from muscle to metabolism, from memory to mood. But knowing what to take is only the beginning. What truly matters is how you use it. This is where intention meets consistency, and just 1 tablespoon each morning can become the foundation of your second chapter in life. Here's how to begin. Find a clean, dry bowl. Into it, you'll add the following: maca powder, 1 to 1.5 tablespoons. Ginger powder, 1 to 1.5 tablespoons. Pure turmeric powder, 1 to 1.5 tablespoons. Silent cinnamon powder, 1 to 1.5 tablespoons. Unsweetened cocoa powder, 1 to 1.5 tablespoons. Creatine monohydrate, just 1 teaspoon, about 5 grams. Ashwagandha root powder, 1 to 1.5 tablespoons. Mix everything thoroughly until the powders are evenly combined. Then transfer the blend to an airtight glass jar and store it in the refrigerator. Each batch will stay fresh for about 3 to 5 days, depending on your environment. Every morning, preferably before your first full meal, take 1 tablespoon of this mix. You can stir it into warm water, lemon water, which helps your body absorb curcumin more effectively. unsweetened almond or oat milk, or even mix it into a small bowl of plain yogurt. The flavors will surprise you. The cocoa and cinnamon soften the spicier notes of ginger and turmeric. And over time, your body may begin to crave it, not for the taste alone, but for how it makes you feel. Now you may be wondering, how long will it take before I feel a difference? For most people, the first shift isn't dramatic. It's subtle, but it's real. What to expect over time. Week 1. You might notice your sleep feels more settled. That sluggish morning heaviness, it begins to ease. And emotionally, you feel just a little more level. It's as if your body is waking up from a long slumber, stretching, moving again. Week 2. Your joints begin to loosen. Stairs feel less daunting. The mental fog lifts. You might catch yourself reacting quicker, moving smoother, thinking clearer. By the end of month 1, your grip feels firmer, your posture steadier. Tasks that once wore you out, grocery shopping, light chores, walks around the block, no longer feel like uphill battles. And most importantly, that quiet, forgotten spark of vitality, it returns gently, steadily, and without fanfare. Because here's the truth. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming your right to feel strong, steady, and clear at any age. You're not depending on pills. You're not trading one symptom for another. You're simply feeding your body the way it was meant to be nourished. And over time, your body remembers. If you've found value in this, I want to thank you for walking this journey with me. Please feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know where you're watching from, or share your experience if you decide to try this blend. Your story might inspire someone else. And if you're ready to keep healing one gentle step at a time, subscribe to Senior Fit, because growing older doesn't mean growing weaker, it means growing wiser and still moving forward.